Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday night. Hopefully, everybody is doing well. I know everybody is excited for the Super Bowl tomorrow, I'm sure. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of hop on tonight and show you guys some of our thoughts behind the drafts positions and where guys get drafted and whatnot. So, pretty much, I do this year to year. And what I do is I take different positions that have panned out in in last year of the NFL and kind of go through where those guys have been drafted. And hello, Mason. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Hopefully you enjoyed. This isn't going to be a very long show by any means. It's just going to be a quick 10 minutes. But I just kind of wanted to share some of this information with you guys. I only did 4 positions today because that's all I really had time to do. And I'll be making more of these videos for different positions and whatnot. Um, Lord Crimson, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to share some of this stuff with you guys, right? So I think we can all agree on what the needs for the Bears are, or at least most of us can. So I would say defensive line for sure, defensive tackle, defensive end. I think we all know we need a center, right? And a lot of people know we need a second wide receiver and whatnot too, right? So, and hello, Jeff. Thanks for joining us as well. So, okay, yeah, let's get to it. Let me show you guys some of this stuff. So, when it comes to defensive ends, right, and we look at the best defensive ends in this last year, this is in no specific order whatsoever. I'm sure I left some guys out here and there, but I just, took a good handful of guys and kind of put it together. So we got Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Max Crosby, Brian Burns, and I even added Montez Sweat in there. And as you can see, these guys, a lot of them were first round talent guys, right? Nick Bosa was pick 2, Michael Parsons was pick 12, Myles Garrett was pick 1, TJ Watt was pick 30. Max Crosby is kind of the outlier in this situation where he was a 4th round pick, but Brian Burns is a guy that we have also kind of talked about the Bears targeting a little bit. Pick 16. Montez Sweat was even pick 26. So when you look at the guys that are producing in the league at this position, you could see that a lot of them are 1st round draft guys, right? So if you need a defensive end, what this tells me is like if you just draft one outside the 1st or 2nd round, you're probably kind of hoping to get a little bit lucky here and there. I'm not saying that these guys don't pan out past the 1st round or anything like that, but this is just tendencies. And like I said, I do this year to year, and it kind of stays consistent. It pretty much stays consistent because year to year, the same guys tend to be the top guys, right? So that's defensive end. And when we look at defensive tackles, we kind of see the same thing going on, right? So I just once again, a handful of guys, no specific order. We got Aaron Donald, Chris Jones, Dexter Lawrence. We got Williams, Cameron Hayward, DeForest Buckner, Jonathan Allen, and once again, Donald, 1st round, pick 13. Chris Jones was a 2nd round pick, 37. Lawrence, 1st round, pick 17. Williams, pick 3. Cameron Hayward, pick 31. DeForest Buckner, pick 17. Jonathan Allen was also pick 17. So even these defensive tackles in the league that are producing at a very high level, a lot of them also tend to be 1st, 2nd round guys, right? So if you need that position, you may need to address it pretty on early in the draft if you want a high chance of these guys succeeding. Like I said, this isn't a definite anything like that. I'm not saying that a guy past the 1st round can't succeed. This is just tendencies, right? And it's actually kind of for fun too. So when we look at a position like center, though, right? So let's take a look at the centers. I just took a handful of guys. Now it's kind of hard to judge how good a center truly is and whatnot. So I just took a good group of guys that are on their 2nd contract that are playing on good teams. And so we have Jason Kelsey, Frank Ragnow, Ryan Jensen, Corey Linsley, Creed Humphrey. And you already see a huge difference. You already see, Kelsey was drafted in round 6. Jensen was drafted in round 6. Corey Linsley was drafted in round 5. We still have Ragnow in round 1. We still have Humphrey in round 2. But what this shows you is you could get these guys that are playing at a high level later on in the rounds, right? A little bit more frequently than you could get, for example, defensive tackles that play at a high level later on in the rounds, right? And so I want to just state this, and I see the comment, draft Marvin Harrison Jr. So this is not I'm not trying to knock on Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't draft Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm just kind of trying to lay out some of these tendencies out there and whatnot. And when we do take a look at the wide receivers, right, and I took a good handful of them, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Jamar Chase. And here we see a lot of fluctuation, right? Justin Jefferson was a first round pick 22, but Tyreek Hill, guys, he was a fifth round pick 165. AJ Brown, second round, pick 51. CD Lamb, first round, pick 17. DJ Moore, pick 24. Amon-Ra St. Brown was a fourth round pick. Puka Nacua, who just set rookie wide receiver records, fifth round pick, 177. Even Cooper Kupp, who was leading the league at one point, was a third round pick 69. Devontae Adams was extremely highly sought after. He was a second round pick 53. Keenan Allen, third round, pick 76. And you still have guys like Jamar Chase that go out there and get drafted pretty high and are still able to produce. So, it's interesting when you take a look at it like this, because a lot of these drafts are stacked pretty deep with wide receivers. So you can find guys like Tyreek Hill in the fifth round. I mean, just coming to mind, Antonio Brown was a fifth round pick as well. So you have more of a chance of drafting a position like this later in the round and having it succeed than, for example, let me bring this back up. For example, like a defensive end. Like I said, these guys tend to go pretty high. And if you got to look at all the needs that the Bears have and whatnot and kind of determine like, hey, is it really worth drafting this position this high and whatnot? Me personally, I would stick to kind of like the defensive end, defensive tackles if you're drafting at the top end of the first round, So, just kind of want to share that with you guys. I'm going to, like I said, do a couple more videos like this of different positions and whatnot. So, Lord Crimson says this draft is oddly stacked at pretty much all the positions of need. Yeah, and every draft is different, so this isn't like a for sure thing. Like I said, this is just a little research I do year to year, just kind of for fun and whatnot, and it kind of helps me formulate some of my opinions and whatnot about the value of certain positions at certain rounds and whatnot. So, just want to kind of get this information out to you guys and share it with you guys, and hopefully everybody enjoys the Super Bowl tomorrow. And I know we'll be doing a show next week. And then after that, we'll kind of die down on the weekly shows. But let's if you guys got any questions, let's answer this one. What is the one thing that the Bears do not need? Lord Crimson answered it. Cornerback. I would say as long as we do keep Jalen Johnson, we are pretty good at corner. I would say, Jaquan Brisker's got that strong safety position pretty much kind of nailed down. Middle linebackers and outside linebackers, I'd say we are pretty set at the linebacker position on defense. When it comes to offense, we have Cole Kmet. I'm pretty sure the backup was only signed to a 1-year deal, Robert Tonyan, so we might need a backup tight end. But still, like, we have the draft and we have free agency, right? So some of those things can get addressed in free agency. You definitely need a center, definitely need at least one guard. Tackle, you might be okay on tackles. I mean, you could go into next year with both, Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones. However, you could upgrade the tackle position in theory. And you definitely need some depth at wide receiver too, right? Quarterback, I posted a video last week about what we thought about that. So I'm just going to kind of steer clear of that subject just because if you want our opinion, go look at last week's video. But I would say probably the most solidified position that tends to need a lot of guys is corner. We are pretty deep at corner currently, and we've drafted that position recently too, between Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson. We also took his name is skipping my mind, but we also took another corner in like round 5. So, Lord, if Alt or Olu fall tonight, you could definitely draft a left tackle and it could be an upgrade, right? So no one's saying you can't. What I wouldn't do is I wouldn't draft a tight end there because we have Cole Kmet. We just need a backup tight end. Now, even though it's still the backup position in need, and you could talk about the future and whatnot, I still think that we need more defensive line help than anything else, right? So I would be looking at these defensive tackles and defensive ends with a close eye and trying to determine which guys, we really like and whatnot. So Jeff says replacement for Eddie Jackson. Yeah, the free safety, we definitely need a free safety this year. Whether it's a veteran or a rookie or both, right? So that's a position where you kind of would like some experience at, because you don't want, you don't want a rookie out there just messing that up. And same thing kind of with center too. Like if you get a rookie center, sure, you could plug and play that guy in, but having a guy that has some experience at that position would probably be a little bit beneficial. So yeah, just wanted to join you guys live. Like I said, I'm not going to take up too much time, just a quick 10 minutes. So thank you guys for joining me. Appreciate you all. And like I said, I'll make a couple more videos going through the other positions and where those guys were drafted and whatnot. So enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. And yeah, thanks again. I'll see you.